I left something. But pheromones. When we speak of in terms of pheromones, everything physical comes in, even if it's a sound, because it's all light. It's attacking every sense in the body. Somebody might say something is odorless. It's just that, not necessarily odorless. It's just the smell or that layer, that code that's given off to where that sense or that instrument, as like the nose, would pick that up. Maybe the code is at a frequency that is so subtle that you don't pick it up because you haven't trained your nose to that degree. Everything gives off a smell. Every vibration gives off a smell, a color, a taste, everything. Because a smell gives a taste. So it all gives off something that attacks every sense. So when we're talking in terms of pheromones, something that is a smell or a trace, a vibrational residue or exchange, we can look at it in terms of someone that has sex with someone. There's a pheromone exchange there. Whether you play basketball with someone, all these things exchange pheromones. You wear somebody's clothes, all these different things. Everything is giving off a smell, a color, a sound. It's all functional and it all attacks every sense. So, in terms of that, exchanging pheromones with another person, you got people that some people will call scandalous or whores, for a lack of it. And whores it's a dual sexual term. It's not like a male can't be a whore or a hoe or a bitch. Males can be all these things. Females can be, it's just people. So when you exchange like that via sex or even saliva, even if it's a kiss, any of these things, and there's mental residue too, thoughts that get injected between the two of you. That exchange, that residue is there. And if you're with a spouse that cannot pick up on that residue, you should not be with that person anyway. If someone can't catch you, they're really not worth the trouble of being with or maintaining a relationship with, to be totally honest. So, when we speaking of someone who would be considered a whore, male or female, they can pick up on other whores based on the pheromones. And it's subtle. It's not, people won't have it totally in their conscious mind. But in the subconscious, or some that do know more than others maybe, they can pick up on the fact that this person has been with someone recently. I can just tell by the energy they're giving off, the pheromones that are attached to their energy at this moment, because that you can wash and wash and wash. It's like a dog smelling the piss of another dog from a week ago. You can wash that area. It can rain on that pole, on that fire hydrant, but it's not going away. And why is that? It's because there was a residue there, an exchange that is much more powerful than any soap. So when you have a person that recognizes that, they can see it and feel it off of someone. They're like, you know, in the last month, you probably were very sexually active. Or you could just pick it up, like with alcohol or any of these substances. You can look into a person's eyes and see the level of the level of detriment that they are in. And you can tell just from the whites of the eyes, all different ways of telling. That's a visual residue. Then you have a way of smelling, tasting from the smell, listening to their voice. All these, it's all residue from an exchange of energy. So with pheromones, you can tell when somebody was at the strip club. You can tell when someone is eating garbage. You can tell when they've drank. And they've been drinking every weekend, just what they give off at an energetic level and at a level of actually knowing the exact substance from knowing what you're doing, what you've done, or what you don't do. It's all experience that tells you this. So you know when someone is in that state of being, whether they're being an alcoholic, someone that eats garbage, someone that's having copious amounts of sex. All these things you can tell, you can pick it up. You literally smell it, taste it, hear it. You feel it at every level of your sensory body. So pheromones are the dead giveaway that as far as cheating and all that type of stuff. Pheromones, that is what hits your spouse before other things in a physical sense. Because maybe at another sense, she just picked it up through the ether, or he just picked it up through the ether that you're cheating. Just from a sense of your connectivity, how connected you truly are. You might be truly connected, tightly bound. And you just pick it up through the waves of the ether that you know that she's somewhere doing that, because you can feel it off her, because you just know when she's in that state, or you know when he's in that state of euphoria or whatever. So you know his body or her body, and that you pick it up through the ether that is being sent from their body because you're so connected. This is just subtle, whether you're conscious or unconscious. Many females are more connected to this place than the males are at this present state. So, not any more connected, but they listen more. So, they listen more, they taste more, they smell more, all that. They're picking it up more because they're more in tune at this point. Not for every case, it's not blanket, again, because some females are gone, sorry. But you have that way of finding out what someone's doing. Whether someone is getting killed or having a good time, you can feel it off of them if you're connected to you're connected to everyone, but some people you have such a connection where you know. So you know when they're engaged in behavior that might not be good for your relationship. You just know it. So the same thing goes for when they enter the room. Now it's become a denser level of exchange. Your communication between your bodies is now, the proximity is closer. So now you know by other means, other senses. You smell it. And you may not even know what you're picking up with your nose, but you just smell it. Like, I smell a rat. People say that. They don't literally think that they're smelling something, but they are. You're literally picking up the pheromones, picking up the residue. And it's the same for all the senses across the board. Hearing, all of it. All of it. If she's screaming in ecstasy, it doesn't matter if she's in Vegas. That's coming through the ether. And you're picking that up at some level. Some people are just more in tune with than others. And more close to the people that it involves. So, that's just what it is. You just have to be able to listen to your senses, what you pick up on. And that's pheromones for y'all.